I did it. I watched Endgame. I consumed it with my eyeballs and my ears. Yeah, okay, so I watched Endgame and this is my review. Um First of all, I should stress that this is going to be a spoilery review. I'll probably do a spoilery review at some point. This is non-spoilers, okay? So uh fret not. You are safe. So, okay, wow. Okay, where do I even start? I guess first I'll start talking about just the legacy of what the MCU is. So, this is the culmination of a storyline that the MCU has been developing for like 11 years now. Um, since 2008. They've been telling this story, and this is essentially the culmination. I won't say how, but it wraps a pretty nice bow around it, you know. Um, and yeah, it's just it's amazing. Like it really is, and yeah, I guess I'll say like I love the movie. I think I thought it was pretty fantastic. But and like I will say that from Iron Man to Endgame, everything from now on, everything could suck ass. It totally could. Like that's very much a possibility. But from Iron Man to Endgame, I think is the greatest cinematic achievement ever. I'm not necessarily saying that any one of the Marvel movies is one of the greatest movies of all time, but from Iron Man to Endgame is something unlike I have ever seen done before. I mean, basically what they did was they made a season of television and put it and just released it in the theater. They just released each episode every, well, actually, like, I got to the point where they released each episode like 3 or 4 times a year. Um, and 3 times a year. They've never gone to four. And yeah, it's just it's amazing like what they've managed to do here, how they've managed to keep it so consistent. I mean, like I personally enjoy every movie in the MCU. They're not all amazing, but I think they're all at least pretty good. Um, and just the fact that they've managed to keep this consistency, have this thread, this storyline go throughout all of these years and have it be good, have us care about these characters, and have it all be able to lead to this movie and then stick the landing with this movie. Because there was completely a possibility that this movie could have sucked. It could have been terrible. And that would have been awful. But it doesn't. Like, it just, like, the Russo brothers, they just get these movies. They just get it, man. And they absolutely stick the landing, and this movie is pretty great. Okay. So, so talking about Endgame in specific now. I will say it's definitely not like Infinity War. So if you're expecting like Infinity War 2, like another a movie that's very similar to Infinity War, this movie is way different. It's definitely slower, which I think is necessary. And yeah, it's like if I'm gonna say something is that this movie is pretty slow. Um, and I don't say that as a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing. I think it's only appropriate to have this after Infinity War. That's not to say that it doesn't pick up the pace, because it absolutely does. At a certain point in the movie, it's like, okay, it's happening. Watch out, bruh. Is this coming? And it comes, and it's amazing. But for a large majority of this movie, it's pretty slow. At least it felt like the majority. It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow going because it really just wants you to know like where these characters are in their lives, I guess. And yeah, so that's pretty good. It's like I've seen some complaints, I think, about these slow parts, and I don't know, it never it just worked for me. I was in, and yeah, I'm just I sort of trying to think about what I can and can't say. um and yeah, I guess more than that, like the performances are all pretty great. You've got just you get these actors, they know what, I mean, they're just so in tune with these characters after playing them for so many years. Yeah, okay. So I will also say this. Sorry, I'm trying to think about what I want to and what I don't want to say. Um so like when you find out what this movie is about, um I think it works. Like I think what the route that they choose to go with this movie does work. Um, there are some things that I look at and my nitpicky mind goes, "Huh, wait, that doesn't make any sense." But at the end of the day, I'm fine with it. I'm just kind of fine with what they decide to do. Um, like I mean, look, there are some things where I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But or I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again, and maybe it'll make more sense. But there's some things that just kind of don't make sense to me. So again, that's all I'll say there. But yeah, overall, like the route that they choose to go with this movie, it works for me. I'm sort of able to look past a lot of things. But yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna end this here. I it's really hard to talk about this movie without wanting to give anything away, and I don't want to give anything away. I look, if you've been with the MCU for all this time, even if you've been with it, maybe for the past 5 years, maybe the first movie you saw was Civil War, maybe the first movie you saw was Infinity War, and you decided to go back. No matter like what, although I will say, if you haven't watched a Marvel movie, like I don't know, I mean, you can watch it. I think you can watch it, and you can kind of piece together what's going on, but definitely to like really appreciate it, you should watch like other Marvel movies. Like at least watch the Avengers movies and Civil War before going into this. I don't know. But look, if you've been with this franchise for this long, for however long you've been with it, this movie is for you. This movie is made entirely for you, and it's good. It's satisfying. Like, I did not leave disappointed. And yeah, it's great. And the Russo brothers, they stuck the landing, I honestly, for me to be satisfied, this movie just had to be good. As long as that's a solid movie, okay, that's fine. But this movie is more than that. This movie is great. Like there's things that they do that I necessarily didn't think they would do. I kind of maybe thought they would do. It's actually a pretty good mix of things that I didn't think would happen and things that I did think would happen. Like, it's a mix of being right and wrong that kind of kept me on my toes. So, but yeah. I'm gonna end it here. I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to risk saying anything that might be considered spoilery. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, go watch Endgame, but also comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell or whatever, and also check out. I currently have an Arkham Asylum playthrough going on. I don't think I'm gonna be at City yet. By the time I upload this video, no, I definitely won't. So I currently have an Arkham Asylum playthrough. I'll have a link to it in the description. Go check that out if you want. That has nothing to do with Endgame. It's just kind of a thing that's currently going on with my channel. But yeah, bye.